Elon Musk revealed why SpaceX will never reach Mars. Mars has become the next giant leap for mankind's exploration of space. But before humans get to the red planet, astronauts will take a series of small steps by returning to the moon for a year-long mission. It's almost possible for SpaceX to fulfill Elon Musk's dream of colonizing Mars, but the company's CEO just revealed that they've encountered a new obstacle. What may be the issue here? Is Mars, the dead planet, really a place to live? And how habitable and for how long would it be? Is Elon Musk backing out of his desire to colonize Mars? All the answers to these questions and more will be discussed in this video. Ensure you stay tuned to the end. You don't want to miss out on anything. Welcome back to Unlimited SpaceX. But before we begin, kindly subscribe to this channel, like the video, and enable the notification feature. If you haven't already, if you'd like to stay up to date on all things Elon Musk, Tesla, SpaceX, and Starlink, come on, let's get started. A few tech billionaires have recently declared an interest in colonizing Mars, and this isn't news to anyone interested in space exploration. However, it is widely accepted that establishing a long-term and sustainable food supply is essential for human survival on Mars, due to the fact that people cannot survive without food and water for lengthy periods, let alone long enough to qualify them for civilization. So, for example, simply dropping out boxes of food from space is insufficient. This is in addition to packing adequate food for a long-term stay on Mars that can take anywhere from 6 to 9 months, not including the return voyage. To put it another way, building a civilization on the red planet would take decades at the very least, because it would be no easy feat. Our short time in a spacefaring species has seen us land humans on the moon, establish an international space station in low Earth orbit, send 2 probes, Voyager 1 and 2, to the outer reaches of our solar system and into interstellar space, discover over 4,500 exoplanets, and populate Mars with robots. These are all impressive accomplishments. But still, we need to ask ourselves if it's possible that life would be sustainable on the red planet. Is life a freak occurrence or a foregone conclusion of the cosmos' ongoing evolution? When it comes to solving this mystery, Mars is our best bet at this point in time. However, despite the arid appearance of the surface of Mars today, it is said to have had flowing water and conditions favorable to the emergence of life billions of years ago. Perhaps there was life on the planets that long ago, and they died off as a result of the change in their living condition. In order to sustain life as we know it, we require water, energy, and a source of carbon. But it's more likely that we'll find the carbon-based organic building elements necessary to develop life on Mars than we'll find an actual live entity on Mars. As far as finding evidence of life on Mars, the best way to do so is to go there ourselves. While the conditions on Mars aren't ideal for humans right now, they aren't insurmountable. And NASA, SpaceX, and others are working to create technology that'll allow us not just to live, but thrive on the red planet. It's said that Mars had a lot of surface water once upon a time, as confirmed by diverse missions to the red planet. Lakes, streams, and even surface water as large as an ocean. But what happened to all these? The generally given explanation is that the phenomenal atmosphere of the planet became too thin and cold to support it, drying up in the process. It's also connected to the fact that Mars lost its early magnetic field. But a rumored reason that isn't widely accepted is that the red planet might have been too small to begin with. Even researchers said the planet wasn't big enough to hold onto all its water. Perhaps this is the fate of Mars, to die from not being able to contain its surface water. There are pieces of evidence that some, or perhaps most of the water is bound now in the crust of the planet, trapped in minerals. With average temperatures of -63 degrees Celsius below zero, an atmosphere laden with toxins from carbon dioxide and other gases, radiation, a lack of liquid water on the surface, and ferocious dust storms all over Mars, isn't it ironic that this Earth's neighbor boasts the most hospitable climate of any planet in our galaxy, and it shares the same axial tilt and seasons as our own planet, has an atmosphere, albeit unbreathable, water that's frozen, and livable ecosystems? Mars, despite its distance from Earth and lack of immediate connection possibilities, has captivated humanity's imagination as a future human outpost. But building a settlement on Mars will be a lot more difficult than building one on the moon. Since Mars is a mere 55 million kilometers away from Earth at its closest point, the total journey time could take between 150 and 300 days, depending on the distance between Earth and Mars and how many rockets are being used, as well as the amount of fuel being used. Well, SpaceX has plans for this with its innovative Starship. So, assuming that all the necessary resources are launched and transported, and that the repercussions of a long, constrained, and radiation-drenched journey are taken into account, traveling to Mars is still not an easy alternative. It's not to boldly go, but rather to boldly stay on Mars that we're undertaking. We can get there, but how do we make a living there long term? How do we sustain our individual and societal growth? How long will we last there? In order to construct a habitat in another world that's on Mars in this case, many factors must be taken into account. These include how building materials will react to conditions such as dusty, low air pressure environments, extreme temperatures, and outward forces from pressurized habitats, radiation damage, and a gravitational pull that is only 38% as strong as that of Earth's. For future Martians, a habitat on Mars will need to be self-sustaining because of the long distance between Mars and Earth and the need to provide oxygen for breathing, water for drinking, food for eating, radiation protection, light and power, and stable, comfortable temperatures. When we ultimately go to Mars, we'll be living in habitats that mimic Earth's climate, just like we do in Antarctica. But what about the long-term viability of our species? Building a small Earth where the failure of a single critical piece of technology could put people's lives in danger, and where resources are limited, is not an offer that gladdens one's heart. Though we could transform Mars into another Earth and bring it back to life in a way that is both sustainable and manageable. Transforming Mars to be habitable would necessitate 3 key adjustments, which include increasing the atmosphere by increasing the greenhouse effect and global warming, also maintaining the planet warm enough to allow liquid water to remain stable on its surface, and preventing the new atmosphere from being lost to space. And lastly, all we'd have to do is heat up the globe, scatter some seeds, and watch as life takes over on its own. Perhaps that would work, don't you think? It's pretty easier said than done. But regardless of all these setbacks, problems, and technical challenges, Elon Musk believes that there is an open window for human colonization on the Red Planet, and that we can still establish a colony that is sustainable in it. He has always been concerned with the fact that in 500 million years, Earth would be too hot and unbearable for life. That to us might seem like a very long time, but that's only just 1/10 of the time the planet has been around. There will be a big drive in the coming century to develop and enhance the technology that will allow us to travel further and faster into space while still maintaining our safety. Astronautic exploration of other planets in our galaxy have become an integral aspect of the vision of our future, and even a gauge of how successful we'll be. So, Elon Musk is very much still in the game, and his company, SpaceX, is stopping at nothing to extend life beyond Earth. How do you think we're going to cope when Mars becomes habitable, and how long do you think it'll take? We'd love to hear from you in the comments below. With that, we've come to the end of our video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, kindly like and subscribe so you can receive more SpaceX content in the future. Don't forget to turn on the notification button. And of course, always leave your comments down below. See you soon.